Good Sunday morning, January the 5th, 2025. Pete Browning, not in the Baseball Hall of Fame, but he's a curious baseball player from the old school era, 1882 through 1894. What do I mean by curious? 341 career batting average, and it was done in 13 years. Not just a short time, 13 years of 1,183 games. He had 4,820 at bats, and he got 1,646 hits. If he had played 2,500 to maybe 3,000 games, I think he was on pace for 3,000 hits, maybe more. His 341 career batting average is top 15 all time. So I've been looking at his seasons. This video, 1886. How did he do? 112 games, 467 at bats, 86 runs scored, 159 hits, 29 doubles, 6 triples, 2 homers, 68 RBI, 26 stolen bases, 30 walks. He bats .340, and that is the 5th year in a row over 300. His high so far is 378. He has 362. He's had a 338, a 336. Now he bats .340. 5 years in a row. Really good batting averages. 389 on base, 441 slugging, 206 total bases. Why am I covering Pete Browning? This guy was a good player. His ratio of hits per game played is superb. Let's do it. 1,646 hits divided by 1,183 games. 1.39 hits per game played. Very excellent ratio. In fact, I looked it up. I wanted to know which ball player had the best ratio of hits per game played. I went through about 500 players. Just looked at their games played and hits. Two guys I found were superb. And I couldn't find anybody better than these two guys. Ed Delante. He's in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Have you heard of him? If you go to Baseball Reference, put in career batting average leaders. Click it. And then under batting average leader, go to career. Get Ty Cobb number 1. You know who's number 8 on the list? Ed Delante. Click on him. Played in the 1880s, 1890s. He had 1,837 games. He got 2,597 hits. So I did the math. It's 1.41 hits per game. That's the best I found. The other guy that matched him was Sam Thompson. Have you heard of him? Here he is. He's 33 on the list. He's a 331 career batting average. The thing about Sam, he's just got a 15-year career. He only has the 1,400 games, whereas Delante had 1,800 games. But Thompson, 1,410 games, 1,988 hits. That's 1.41 hits per game. Now, I just mentioned Pete Browning, 1.39. There are other guys pretty good. Roger Hornsby was very good, 1.37, I believe. Tony Gwynn was in the 1.35, right around there. Some of these guys, of the games they played, they averaged more than a hit a game. How about 1.41 over your career? Now, there are probably some guys that played 5 years have a higher ratio, but I'm not going to count that. Even 10 years is not enough for me. You got to be around 15 to 20 years, 25 years. That measures your production. How about Ty Cobb? 24-year career. Do you know how much he averaged of hits per game played? All right, let's go to him. He's number one on the list. 366, right? Career batting average. He's the true measure of production. I mean, he had 3,034 games. How about that? And he got 4,189 hits. Do the math. I'll do it right now. 4,189 divided by 0.3034 games, 3,034 games, comes out to 1.38 hits per game played. You can say he's the greatest hitter of all time. 366, nobody beats that. You may say some of the Negro League players have higher averages, but their stats are incomplete, and some of them only got to 900 to 1,000 games. Very few got up to about 1,200 games. We don't have the stats of a lot of their games. Maybe some of them played 1,500 or 2,000 games. We don't have the records on it. Go to Baseball Reference, click on the guys. It's got records of about 900, 1,000, 1,100, or 1,200 games for some of them. Josh Gibson, not enough records. You have Oscar Charlton up there. So some of those guys, I'll go back here, click. In the Baseball Reference, it mentions Oscar Charlton had a 365 career batting average. But when you click on it, 917 games, not enough for me. What was his average of hits per game played? He had 1,209 career hits divided by 917 games. He's 1.31, see, so not enough. The other guy on the list, you got a guy named Judd Wilson. 911 games, not enough. Another guy, Turkey Stearns, 993 games. And if you go to Josh Gibson, I think it only mentions about 700 games. It just doesn't do it for me. So I'm going to go to the guys who have a lot of games played. Now, we're covering Pete Browning. 1,183 games. In one sense, it's not enough for me. But I like that 341 career batting average, and I like the hits, or ratio of hits per game played for Pete Browning. 1,646 in just 1,183 games gives him a 341 career batting average. But what the ratio is what really surprised me. 1.38. Top 5 all time. I think there's 5 guys right in that range. I mentioned Delonte, 1.41, Sam Thompson, 1.41. I have to do a lot more research to find out if there are guys who played over 1,000, 1,500, or 2,000 games that are close to those numbers. Very few. All right, that's 1886. Pete Browning, 340 for the year. Next video, 1887. That's a good year. We'll get into it next. I'm out.